Today we're going to tell you about water pollution. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually as a result of human activities.
One common path of entry by contaminants to the sea are rivers. An example is directly discharging sewage and industrial waste into the ocean. Pollution such as this occurs particularly in developing nations. In fact, the 10 largest emitters of oceanic plastic pollution worldwide are, from the most to the least, China, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Egypt, Malaysia, Nigeria, and Bangladesh, largely through the rivers Yangtze, Indus, Yellow, Hai, Nile, Ganges, Pearl, Amur, Niger, and the Mekong, and accounting for 90% of all the plastic that reaches the world's oceans.
40% of America's rivers and 46% of America's lakes are too polluted for fishing, swimming, or aquatic life.
80% of the water pollution is caused due to domestic sewage, like throwing garbage on open ground and water bodies.
Not only in the agriculture sector, the biggest consumer of global freshwater resources, with farming and livestock production using about 70% of the Earth's surface water supplies, but it's also a serious water polluter. Around the world, agriculture is the leading cause of water degradation. In the United States, agriculture pollution is the top source of contamination in rivers and streams, the second biggest source is in wetlands, and the third main source is in lakes. It's also a major contributor of contamination to estuaries and groundwater. Every time it rains, fertilizers, pesticides, and animal waste from farms and livestock operations wash nutrients and pathogens, such bacteria and viruses, into our waterways.
Landfills are nothing but a huge pile of garbage that produces awful smell and can be seen across the city. When it rains, the landfills may leak, and the leaking landfills can pollute the underground water with large variety of contaminants.
Zinc and copper are often used to boost growth in cattle and poultry. Excreted in their waste, such metals and others, including lead, chromium, and arsenic, end up in soil fertilizer, which runs off into water sources. Heavy metal exposure can lead to kidney, nervous system, and cardiovascular problems.
Fossil fuel burning produces ash with toxic chemicals that mixes with water vapor, creating acid rain that eventually makes it to water sources.
Sodium, potassium, calcium, sulfite, bicarbonate, nitrate, and other salts in manure can make it into waterways, increasing salinity, altering ecosystems, and making drinking water unsafe.
Transporting coal and other industrial and petroleum products carries the risk of leaks in underground storage systems and pipes. Heavy use and corrosion can lead to spills. Accidental leakage can also occur during any part of the transportation process, leading to soil and water pollution.
Ships can pollute waterways and oceans in many ways. Oil spills can have devastating effects while being toxic to marine life. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, also known as PAHs, found in crude oil are very difficult to clean up and last for years in the sediment and marine environment. Oil spills are probably the most emotive of marine pollution events. However, while a tanker wreck may result in extensive newspaper headlines, much of the oil in the world seas comes from other smaller sources such as tankers, discharging ballast water from oil tanks used on return ships, leaking pipelines, or engine oil disposed of down sewers.
Ships can also create noise pollution that disturbs natural wildlife, and water from ballast tanks can spread harmful algae and other invasive species.
Volatile organic compounds, VOCs, are a dangerous contaminant of groundwater. They are generally introduced to the environment through careless industrial practices. Many of these compounds were not known to be harmful until the late 1960s, and it was some time before regular testing of groundwater identified these substances in drinking water sources.
The simplest solution for water pollution prevention is to be responsible with any chemical use. Read and explicitly follow the directions for mixing and use. Use organic options whenever possible. Check your local stormwater division for suggestions. Prevent spills, as spills are generally accidental. Prepare in advance to contain and absorb the solution if there is a spill. Don't leave the unused chemicals exposed to weather. Dispose of leftover chemicals in container properly per the product instructions, or check with your local municipality. Do not apply in your water systems such as wells, streams, lakes, or curb inlets and drains.
There are countless products in the market to help filter runoff and protect stormwater drains. Curb guards can be bulky and in the way of cars and pedestrians, but there are invisible traffic-friendly curb guard options too. Drain guards can go over or under the 200 to 300 pound drain gate, but over the grate drain guard is safer and easier to use.
Do not throw chemicals, oils, paints, and medicines down the sink drain or the toilet. In many cities, your local environment office can help with the disposal of medicines and chemicals. Check with your local authorities if there is a chemical disposal plan for local residents.
Buy more environmentally safe cleaning liquids for use at home and other public places. They are less dangerous to the environment.
Thanks for watching this Adventurous Kids episode.